Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the M.I.C.S podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matt. We have
Jeremiah.
No Daniel today. So today we're gonna just run off some questions, random questions. We thought it'd be interesting. Let's chat some questions and see what it spit out. We don't know what these questions are. We all both have different questions, so just give our reaction to them. So,
all right,
you want me to start this time?
Please.
All right. When did you realize you were officially an adult?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, adult. Moving out. Moved out when I was 18. You start taking care of yourself and paying bills and stuff. To me, that's when I felt most like an adult. There's a lot of things I had to learn right away. Yeah, I was taking care of myself, paying bills, feeling like, the man,
The man?
Yeah.
You felt like a man immediately?
Yeah, because it was like struggle. It was immediate struggle. Immediate struggles. Everything was a lot different than now, but had electricity cut off. I mean, I felt like almost immediate. Maybe it wasn't, but it felt like it was real early on. Having to I didn't have a car, so having to go to work and walk to get groceries and stuff. That I remember because I had a roommate, and sometimes we'll walk to the grocery store, and at the time used to be Farm Fresh, and we'll buy like those 3-liter lemonade.
Yeah.
We'll get about 5 of them, and then it's like, damn, we gotta carry this and walk back. We even think about it until we get outside. I gotta carry 3 liters of lemonade and groceries. But yeah, it was a struggle. I liked it though, because it kind of because I was a little, I wouldn't say spoiled. I like to use blessed growing up.
Okay.
So I think moving out early and experiencing everything, it was something that I appreciate. It was a struggle, but something that I appreciated. So yeah, I feel like at that point, yeah. Long story short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it was when you realized you was an adult, so that was it.
Yeah. How about you?
It wasn't for me.
I'm just curious.
I mean, I felt like an adult early. I felt like I was paying bills before I left my mom's and them's house.
Because you was.
So
You was paying bills.
I ain't really. I don't know. I felt like an adult back then. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the bills and stuff for sure, but yeah, I think it was like being in an empty house with an air mattress and a TV on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going out to eat, getting Chinese food every day. I ain't have no silverware or nothing. I just had had this one plastic bowl I got from my mom's house. I would have to wash it out every time I wanted to have something to eat.
Sounds kind of sad.
Yeah,
Start crying.
Yeah, But that's, when you're at your parents' house, you got dishes and furniture and, but you realize like, dang, I'm out here on my own. I ain't got nothing. All this, when you move out of an apartment, normally you move your furniture and stuff. I ain't had nothing. Had that TV, and I had to buy the air mattress. No, I didn't have that at first. You remember when the one job you was working at, they were moving?
Oh, yeah.
They gave me
I had a weight bench. I was like, oh, yeah, the job.
No, I didn't have it then, but yeah, later on. Yeah, I those, plus I wound up buying some other stuff, but yeah, I ain't have nothing.
You came a long way. Congratulations. Look at you.
Yeah,
I guess that's my question. Oof, I just don't know. Oh, my goodness. So scared. I got stuck on a robot thing questions. I'm like, I don't want to ask you any of those questions. That's for somebody else. Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm scared to ask this question. Okay, what's the most awkward situation you ever been stuck in? That you've been stuck. That you can tell on this live feed.
I would think that would be more of an embarrassing. Awkward is kind of like you sitting there like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've ever been in one of the, I hate awkward situations.
I know. So I know
like,
you have
I
some.
get out of them things quick, so it's not really nothing crazy.
Now, even work situations?
At work?
Not your current job, because you want to keep that. I want you to talk about your current
stuff.
No
awkward stuff. I don't do the awkward stuff, but I don't know, somebody having an argument with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a domestic dispute.
At work?
Nah, it was
at home.
It was kind of just like, what's going on here? Like, why am I here right now? You know? Because now it's like, I came here to have something to eat, and
now you're in the middle of a Tyler Perry episode.
I'm in the middle of something. I just wanted to get a plate and leave. Can't even do that.
But he gets a free entertainment.
I don't know. Is that awkward? Is that like?
Yeah, that's awkward. Seeing people argue, you just there. Like, what do you do?
No, it was more than arguing.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm just saying.
So okay. No, but no. It's like, I don't know. Just looking at the doing this for a while, and then
so you just sitting there watching the whole time, waiting for them to start arguing and whatever, so you can eat. You just so determined to eat your food. Is y'all done? So I can get my plate.
It never happens like that. It always happens to where now you gotta do something.
You gotta be involved.
Yeah. And I was I don't like those situations. No. I think that's more drama filled situation, not awkward.
I mean, it's awkward,
you know,
because it's like now you're in a situation where you gotta choose a decision that it is like not really your thing, not your business, not your situation.
Not my situation. I'm just trying to
eat.
I'm trying to keep the peace. At first, I was just looking back and forth, hoping that
this would end on its own.
Would kind of just pop in and be like, "Hey, you know what? Why are we doing this?" And it never happened. It never happened, and then it's like, now I got to be the adult for the two adults. I don't
that was like almost us last week.
Last week. Yeah,
we needed some adults.
Yeah,
that was my fault.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I take the blame for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been stressed out, y'all. Stress. But anyway,
how about yourself?
Awkward? What's awkward? I don't know, because if anybody know me, I don't know if you know this about me, but it's like I own this, that I have probably about at least 4 different personalities. So sometimes another personality would kick in when something gets awkward, and I'll be able to handle it.
You handle it?
Well, like for me, like, okay, so for 15 years I was a manager in retail. So it's always awkward situations when you're a manager, especially when you have to fire somebody. But like I said, I think initially, it would feel awkward to have to kind of like terminate someone, but sometimes so another personality kick in and it's not as awkward because it's like, okay, this is what needs to be done. So it's like the manager person or whatever. I don't know. It depends on the level. Yeah. So it was this one guy. It's just crazy because I really wanted good for him. Like, when I was a manager, like I really tried to be inspirational, because I feel like a good manager wants somebody to kind of like you train someone to get to the point where they can take your job or go beyond. And then I also wanted them, especially like, because with retail, it's like you hire a lot of young people, and I also wanted them to be like, this shouldn't be your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just something to help you for the next, next level or whatever. So I would try to encourage people, and had this one guy that that worked under me, and your brother probably remember him, I don't know. But he was a drunk. He was a cool guy. He was and when the alcohol wasn't flowing as strongly, he was a really good worker. but the alcohol flowed strong in most days. And there were times where, at the time I was working in the refrigerator section, and he'll just be laid out in the refrigerator sweating.
In the refrigerator.
Yeah. You know, and I was selling produce. You can't be in the refrigerator sweating laid out by the grapes. You know, that's not a good look. You know, what's the health department come? You know, yeah, you know, we had
sprawled out on the floor,
sweating by the grapes.
By the grapes.
Anyway, I just tried to help him. I tried to talk to him. I tried to. I got another manager to talk to him, like a personnel manager. Like, we were trying to keep him.
Try to have an intervention.
Yeah, you know, and I don't really know what his living situation was, but I don't think his living situation was that good either. So we was really trying to help him, but he was just, after a while, I just felt like you playing in my face. So I knew it was going to be a point where I had to fire him or whatever. And so I was nervous about it. Because like sometimes, like, because I used to work in the hood in the retail. So sometimes it's like when you fire somebody, you also got to be ready for somebody want to throw hands or whatever, you know. So he seemed like the type, especially since he was a drunkard. Yeah, he was a drunkard, you know. So I was like, I don't know, we might have to fight. I don't know what he gonna do. But you know, I told him it was really unnecessary. It's not my. I don't want nobody to think that, you know, I'm a bad manager. Cause I don't know what happened. It started nicely. I told him, like, you know, we'll have to let him go and everything, and I explained why. And you know, I tried to, you know, I don't know what happened.
Couldn't motivate him out of his drunkenness.
But he just started trying to like joke me after, like I was, you know, talking about him. Like, he's calling me all kinds of fat and whack and I don't know. I just got mad, and I was like, you know what? Just don't even shop here no more. I don't want to see you ever again. Don't even shop. Like, not only are you fired, but don't even shop here.
You trespassed him from the.
Yeah, I just didn't want to see him. I didn't know if I had the power to do that, but I did. You know, and I didn't see him. It took me a long time to see him. Maybe like 10 years later, I was still the same place, a different manager in a different position, same store, and you know, he looked like, you know, he looked better. I was like, oh, okay, look at you. You put the bottle down, you know. But yeah, it was, you know, yeah, that's it.
See, if you would have never did that, who know where you would have been? He probably would have still been, you know, hanging out in the freezer on the floor.
Yeah, that's not healthy. Grapes. Yeah, but best firing people has always been awkward. One lady, I literally had to, like, I was so sick of her. I fired her. We were still talking. I asked her, can I see her phone? And she gave me her phone, and I clocked her out. I was like, don't clock back in ever again. Like, yeah, it was just like,
that's code and everything.
No, she had already unlocked her phone. I was like, let me see it. And she was like, oh, okay, sure. And I just hit clocked out, and I was like, don't clock back in. But yeah.
You sound like a terrible.
Don't I?
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you just gotta be. But I think she's doing so much better. Sometimes you gotta give people tough love.
Yeah, sometimes that's what people need.
Yeah, because, like, to be honest, you know, it sounds bad me saying what I'm saying now. Maybe, I don't know, but a lot of these people I gave chance after chance after chance after chance, and they just, you know, they had to go. Some people you just can't help. Anyway, let me ask my question. My phone. No, you got a follow-up. Is it your question?
My question. The awkward thing you brought.
Oh, well, you go ahead. I talked so long, I thought it was my question.
Do you think that people change or just get better at hiding who they are?
Yeah, I think everything. I think people change. I think. Okay, I'm gonna give an answer from one of your brothers. I'm gonna say his name because I won't have enough budget to pay him, but use his name. But I'm gonna be in the middle with this one.
Okay.
Where I feel both, because I feel like as an adult, the older you get, like for me, I feel like I'm still me, but because of, you know, maturity, it's like sometimes I choose my battles. You know, so yeah. So sometimes I slip back to the old me, like you saw last week, and but for the most part, like I really like peace. I think as the older I'm getting, I really try to be in peaceful situations. But you know, the younger me would choose violence all the time. So yeah, I do. But I do see that with other people, like where they are the same, but they try to change because of circumstances. Maybe because some of the things they want they can't get. And so you still want them. You still want those things, but you just can't get it. Mm-hmm. And so you probably change and like hiding it more so, but you still want what you want. So yeah, I think a little both.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think good at hiding. I think that's what I would say. I don't think that people change. Like that drunken guy you was just talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't know him. Mm-hmm. You know, that's something I think people can change, mm-hmm. but I don't think that's a person, their personality. I think that's just a habit they had. But I'm talking about like changing who they are. Mm-hmm. I think they just get better at hiding it. I don't think that people change overall. I think that, you know, we all still are the same. I think we had a podcast where we talk about like adults are somewhat just like big children. You know, some of the stuff that you see adults do is like children. You know what I mean? Like the temper tantrums, they're not tempered. You're not falling out on the ground crying or anything like that, but you're still making a fuss over something that's like because you can't get your way, or it's something that you did. Like you did that. Like you showed up late. Like like, I ain't tell you to do that. You know, but you're having a fit about it. You know, and the people that were like that as a kid, it seemed like they still like that today. They still,
especially people that were spoiled.
Yeah, they still throw them tantrums and stuff, or they can't. They have a hard time like taking accountability for something they did in a sense, you know. But yeah, I think they're just good at hiding it, and then also it's just like once you see that the reaction you got from people, it then. Well, you would say change. I guess that's in a sense you would say it's changing it because you're still that person, but you're just like, I just not that person around that person anymore. So for instance, like we joked around one day and you said, I don't like that. The reaction you had was like really negative towards it. I might still be that type of person, but I'm like, I ain't going to be like that around him because he's sensitive about that or whatever it is. Now it's still me. I still do that with other people, but I just now know I can't do it with you. Not that if I don't feel like doing it that way. It's just like, you know, like I already know what the reaction is going to be, you know. So I don't think like I guess you could say like someone would consider that as changing something, but I think this more so like they're just hiding it because they can't. Some people won't accept them in that form of themselves, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like friends, I don't know if you can relate to like having friends. Like I have a lot of people in my life that I can't be my 100% self with because like for instance, I got people that like rap music and basketball and I could do that, but I can never be an intellectual or talk about certain things with those people because they be like, what are you talking about? I don't want. Every time he come around, he talk like, you know, that. And it's like that gets kind of tiring sometimes. Sometimes you want to be able to be that other thing. So I don't know if it's like I have to hide those aspects. I don't want to say hide, but just as like I can't really be that way with everybody. Or like even like I hate lose. I'm a sore loser. You know what I mean? So I realized that, you know, and then when I'm losing and stuff and I'm causing everybody else to be like, I don't want to play anymore. And I'm like, all right, well, now, see, I just moved myself out of that situation, but I'm still a sore loser. Like any game you would play with me that I should be good at and I'm not winning, I'm not liking it.
Yeah. So. Says a lot about you. But yeah. I do have a question. It's weird because my question is not from chat. It's a personal question from me. Because I've been thinking about this off and on because I was thinking about it being a subject for the podcast. And I was like, but I don't really think it would be a good subject because I don't really know if he got a lot to say about this. So this is going to be controversial. So I would just love to ask you this question. And I want, you know, if he say something crazy, I just want people to just tear you up on the comments. Wow. But what do you think about therapy? Like, you know, mental health.
I don't believe in therapy.
I knew it.
I said it before the thing. I don't believe. I mean, I think there are people with mental disorders. I'm not saying anything like that. I think that the people that like when people say I have to go get therapy to kind of like resolve my, I don't know, trust issue or whatever. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I think that people can do it on their own. It's like it's a profession. And then also just because there's a lot of stuff that was considered something and then they take it out of the, every so often they take stuff out of the registry, whatever the thing is where they have this new thing. Like this is clinically this. They'll take it out. Okay, that's not no longer that. And I'm like, well, how was it a thing? And then now it's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody out there. You're like, I can tell you why. It's the blah, 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 whatever it is. I don't know. But if you can do that, that means that there are situations of where, like, how could you this really be scientifically thing? And I think a lot of people just diagnosed themselves with something or someone told them they were something and they just went and said, I have this. And if I'm a person that's trying to make money off of someone's trauma or whatever, I'm definitely, oh yeah, come on, I'll charge you $300 an hour or whatever. You'll come in and you'll tell me your story and we'll talk about it. And then you might say, I'm going to therapy. And it's really just you going there and talking to some stranger about it. Not really solving anything, you know what I'm saying? And then you got people that'll probably go and, go to a priest or pastor or some religious leader and they'll talk to them and that's their form of therapy. And sometimes they feel like that's a source of like, I got through my trauma or whatever because I talked to that person. But that person isn't clinically a doctor, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think that people can do this stuff on their own. It's like a mental thing that they kind of just got to either just take accountability. I know it's hard for people to do, or just have self-reflection, move yourself away from people for a while, kind of be with yourself, see how you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you remove yourself from a problem and it gets better for those people, then you were probably the problem. You know what I'm saying? Then, okay, well, then that's best that you can still be with those people, but just in sprinkles, little parts and like not all the time. Because when you were there, you seen that it was a lot of things going on and you remove yourself, you have a lot of time to reflect on trauma and things that you have about yourself. You can kind of do that. So I feel like, I think it's just a capitalistic way for people to get money. And now, like I said, there's people that really do have diagnoses, things like, schizophrenia, bipolar.
So you feel like those people need help?
Yeah, because those are really literally like disorders. But the average person that's like, oh, you was in a toxic relationship and you went to therapy. I don't, because you may say you're not toxic to that person and go to someone else and be like, you're toxic to that. It's like everybody's going to that person, you're going to be not what they want. You're going to be going to therapy forever. And, it's no way to get it, because someone may love everything about you, personality, the way you look, everything. And then someone else may not like you. But if you're going to therapy because that person said that they didn't like something about you, and then you feel like you've done, and they may not even feel like it worked, or something like that, And then you go to someone else and they say, hey, I don't like that. Then you'll go to therapy for it. It's like, when does it stop?
So do you think people who suffer from something that's maybe not as extreme, but like, let's say depression, do you think that they need to go to a therapist? Because it's like depression, it's so many different levels.
I think they said depression runs in families. So sometimes it's not even a thing. I think it's a chemical imbalance, which then makes it something more extreme than that. Than I'm just some angry person.
Because there's like depression and there's times when people feel depressed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So do you feel like the people who, suffer from not like just depression, but just moments of being depressed, do you think they need to get some help?
It depends on what that help is. But I don't think
Therapy.
You don't need I don't think you need therapy.
Okay.
I don't think you need therapy. I think it's that because you got people, they don't really talk about this, but you got people that go on to therapy and still, unalive themselves or whatever. I think that's something that's I don't think that I mean, and then there's some situations where someone may feel like I think it's like what they call when they give you a sugar tablet and it's not really I forgot what it's called.
Placebo.
Placebo. It's a placebo effect. It basically, if you feel like you're going somewhere and they got the stamp of like and like this is no knock to any therapist or whatever like, but I used to go to therapy as a kid when I was younger because they said I had an anger problem.
Did it help?
No, I mean I think that they said I didn't have it. I think it was just like for instance, like you got this situation now. I think it's really like ramping up now more so. I think it was always a thing, but like with black young boys, they say that all of them they've been misdiagnosed. They've been putting a lot of them into special education special education, Ritalin and medications and stuff like that. And it really didn't have anything to do with, it was just them being a young black kid or whatever it is. But psychiatrists and therapists and stuff for children, they wind up putting them on some medication. And I do feel like it's a lot of that. And like I said, it's a conspiracy theory, I guess, because I don't have a real way of proving that it's the government or some, or the, what's they call the pharma, big pharma or whatever, pushing on kids and stuff like that. But I do feel like there's an agenda that happens to where you get pushed into these cycles of things like that. And now through your life now, because they put you on it, now you've developed some type of dependency on it, or you need it. You can't live without it. Like you need to take that in order to feel normal or whatever. I know they used to have this thing called Prozac and they would give it to people. And I think it was like people were taking it. They didn't even have the thing that Prozac was for, but it would change their entire personality. Like there'd be people that's like normally just introverted. They take that and they're like, hey, and they're talkative and stuff. You're like, they're almost like a different person. It was almost kind of like, who is this? And there's other things like where it was like ADHD were being taken by people that didn't have it, but it would calm them down and it makes them focus so they would be able to do their work better and stuff like that. So I don't know. I mean, I know it goes a lot further than it, but the conversation was a
podcast episode on it.
Conversation was more so about the, do I believe in it? I don't believe in to the extent that everybody is being pushed so heavy on everybody that because I feel like it's always going to be a problem with somebody. Somebody's not going to like the way you talk or the way you spoke to them or how you treat them. And it's like you can never please somebody. And if you feel like you always have to keep going to therapy to fix something about you. Now, like I say, if you have a serious anger problem, I don't think therapy is going to change that. But, now if it could be mixed with a lot of other stuff, alcohol and other stuff like that, other different controlled substances that make you the person that you are. And I think once you cut some of that stuff off, you cut that off, and it's probably the environment you're around. Some of that stuff is like, that's all you need. But people a lot of times feel like therapy will fix everything. I'll just send them to therapy. And like I said, for children, I think it's really something that parents should probably take more seriously than just like, I'm going to just put my kid in this and they're going to solve their problems. Because once they start putting them on stuff, now you could probably be doing more harm to your child. I don't know. For me, that's just,
Well, I mean, I see what you
unpopular opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely unpopular. Somebody gonna get you, but
I already know.
But I understand what you're saying. But I as a person who actually like people and be around a whole bunch of people and really try to understand how people think, I say that they could benefit from any form of therapy, whether it's it don't always have to be I think it would benefit people to do proactive things to make sure their mental health is good. So like you said, it don't always have to be a actual therapist, but it could be like a mentor. It could be like you said, people who go to like, a religious leader or having a friend that have, the knowledge, the facts or whatever. But I do feel like it's important to make sure your mental health is good. And I feel like it's kind of similar to like a doctor, because like we need doctors, but as you know, there are certain doctors who not the best for you. You got to find the right doctor. There's some people who misdiagnose you, and so it's like, doesn't mean that you shouldn't go to any doctor. It's like you have to kind of do your research. So I do feel like, yeah, there are certain programs, certain things that are unnecessary that people do when it comes to the category of mental health. But you have to do your research, And so that's why I feel like, so I understand what you're saying, because I feel like a lot of people, they just are quick to just take anything, any information, any road that somebody leads them to if there's a problem. But you got to do your research. I personally love the subject of mental health. That's like, if I could choose a profession, that's one of my professions I would like to do. But I guess I didn't realize that till later on in life, so I don't want to be in school for forever. But I didn't realize that's what I was doing for so long, where like I was like constantly giving advice, constantly wanting to give advice to help people. I just thought I was just being nice, but I actually have like this desire to kind of like do more and listen and help people and try to solve whatever problem they have and try to assist them along the way. So yeah, and in doing that, like especially now, because I'm still kind of thinking of the idea of being like what's what people call not a therapist, but the like self-help.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm right now, like I'm trying to like read all the books, all the self-help books in the world, because eventually you'll get like a pattern, because all of them kind of say the same thing in different ways. And I want to get all the knowledge in the world in that subject and kind of create my own formula from what the points that stood out to me or whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So I actually, like the subject of mental health, because I feel like it's important. I feel like when I started the journey, when I started like doing my research and everything, like I feel like it helped me a lot. Because you knew me for a long time, but it's like, to me then, it's not to me now. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel more fortified. I don't really feel like I really want much from people or anything. Like some of the stuff, I feel like it really helped me getting on, like, doing my research and I had a free therapist, because one of my friends was a therapist, and like I really feel like it helped me. Mm-hmm. So personally. But it was based on me doing my research and what I put into it as well. Because some people, he said, so it don't work for some people. I think it's also because some people, you only get what you put in. Mm-hmm. Because a therapist is not like a psychic. So it's like they can maybe formulate and generalize. Like I feel like if somebody was to meet you, they probably, because it's kind of like what you see is what you get with you. Some people are like more like hidden. You is kind of like, so I feel like a person would probably be quick, like a therapist would be like, oh, I probably can sum up maybe what this person been through or whatever, maybe. But you only get what you put into it and whatever homework they give you. So if you're not really trying to do this stuff, like if you go to the doctor, people still be dying, but it's like, if they're not listening to what the doctor is saying, like me, because, got the diabetes. I'm working on it, y'all, but it's hard, so it's like there's certain things like I'm not doing. So if I start getting stuff, organ failure and limbs getting cut off or whatever, like it's because I'm not listening to my doctor, which I'm not, but I'm working on. And so it's like, it's what you put into it, what you listen to, as far as like, what they tell you to work on when you go home. So, but yeah.
I think it's different though with the doctors, because that's scientifically proven. Like, like what I was saying with the clinical stuff, like bipolar is a disorder. Mm-hmm. Like now, I wasn't talking about those type of things. I think like with diabetes, cancer, those are actual, it's not like a personality like for instance, like I have anger problems or something like that. It's not that. It's you literally, this thing is destroying your insides. It's not like, that you either two different directions you can go with that, like not do anything at all and just let it eat you alive or something like that. Whereas the mental part is really like mental stuff. And a lot of the problems that we do have, it normally comes from interactions with other humans. We develop a lot of our emotions and stuff, how we express our emotions from seeing other people express their emotions in certain ways and things like that. And sometimes it's like even just passed down things that you've had. Like I said, like this depression can be passed down through, generations. It's not like you just developed that. That was like, it's heavy in certain families, you know what I'm saying? So you can be clinically depressed. Whereas like some people just might, like you said, it comes and goes. It is like a feeling that happens. Like you could be, you're going through, someone just passed in your life and you're depressed or whatever. And it goes away over time and stuff like that. But there's some people that are just like all the time.
Nothing bad had to happen. They just
their
depressed.
Levels are super low. Like they're always like that. They're always thinking of like, those people are clinically depressed. But then we're talking about people that, like, every time I see it's normally like relationships. You're in a relationship with somebody and one person can't stand the other person and they feel like, to save the relationship, that other person needs to go to therapy, or one of them does, or both of them do, in order to save their relationship. And it's like, just to save a relationship. And that's why I was like, certain relationships, I just don't see the point of it, because I feel like if you're going through, I mean, like I said, this is unpopular opinion, but if you're going through all of that, what's the point of staying there? And you got to keep going to therapy. It's like, just maybe you should. I don't promote in divorce, but it's just, probably don't belong together. But like I said, with friendships, I always think like friendships are the highest level. I think they're the highest level of like relationships, just because it's lower responsibility. It's a lower entry to friendship. And I think it's more genuine. Because you don't have a list of things in order criteria for you to be my friend. Like you don't go on places like, hey, for you to be my friend, you got to be able to do. I mean, there's some people that might have like, you got to be able to draw or what. I don't know.
Draw. Got to play basketball.
You got to be able to play. Watch anime or whatever. It's like they could have that, but you can genuinely become friends with somebody that don't do any of the stuff that you do, and that might be the thing that makes y'all's friendship unique because y'all don't have nothing in common. And I show you something that I like. Oh, that's pretty interesting. And then you show me something. Oh, okay, that's cool. And we just friends, just genuinely friends. Where relationship is like, we got to go out. Got to see how you, run down there. Let me see how fast you run. Yeah, it's like, it's some type of gymnastics you got to be able to do just to be with that person. And then once you're with that person, you got to maintain that thing with that person. And then friendships, you don't have to, you still want to maintain, you don't want to just abuse your friendship, like beating the person up or whatever. I'm just saying, like, if it's a natural friendship, there's no entry for it. It's not no dollar amount. There's no, if you're genuinely friends with them, you can be friends forever. Whereas most relationships, if they've broken up, some of those you ain't even friends no more. You're just over there. You're just some random person, and probably even they hate you. Those is like for that to be the highest level of a relationship is a monogamous relationship. That sounds like it's the worst, because those things don't come back. You don't come back from that. You can't go back to being friends. Some of them can, but the majority of them, they're not friends anymore. Y'all have done so much damage to each other that you don't even want to see this person anymore. You just want it to be over with. Friendships, you can break up with being friends with somebody, and it like one day, y'all bump into each other, have like y'all have mutual friends or something. Oh, it'd be like nothing happened. Like us, like we ain't never had nothing crazy like that, but we had years where we didn't talk, and then we just like, hey, how you doing? It was like nothing happened. Sometimes what other relationships can have, you can't. There's no mending that. But I feel like the mental part of it I feel like really it's those people in your circle, in your life and stuff. And some people not having people in their life. Some people need to be around other people, but they have a hard time assimilating to other people. And those people wind up having that situation where we said with depression, like where they, maybe they get really super depressed because everybody seems to be able to move and have all these friends and they're just always lonely. It's like one of those type of things. And I feel like, do I feel like going to somebody and talking to them will fix that? I just don't think so. I think like if you just somehow, because I say you have to, like you said, do the work in a sense. You have to still go out there and make friends. That person just has to stop being who they are, which is kind of almost impossible if it's already so hard for you to make friends. You think this person didn't do that first? He didn't try to go out there and make friends. That wasn't the first thing he thought of, was like, oh, I'm going to go, why don't you just go out there and say, hey, my name is Johnny and I want to be your friend, or whatever it is. It's just not natural to some people. And so when you don't fit in, sometimes you get into these spaces for that particular situation. And then there's other situations where people have, problems. Like they're very angry, have a temper, or they have, or they're displaying selfish behaviors and things like that. Or to someone else, it may be considered selfish because they're so used to getting things from people without giving anything of themselves. And when you don't give them that thing that everybody else does, now they feel like you have a problem. So I think it's just the people you wind up meeting up with and bringing into your space that wind up giving you these things, which I feel is like more so the problems that you wind up having. So, well, I don't know.
Well, thank you for answering my question. I hope you don't get beat up too much on the comments.
But
for me, but for me, I just felt like, people need to be guided. I just feel like, like a lot of, like everybody's like upbringing. Cause we talked about like sometimes like, our people's parenting and their environment. Like some people are just so scarred, and I don't really think people know how to be people anymore. And I feel like there's not like enough mentorship as I feel like it used to be. Like I felt like when I was in elementary school 20,000 years ago, it was like really push, for like mentorship, and, there was so many programs and things like that. And I just don't see it as much, the push for it. Everything just seemed really adult.
Because you're supposed to be the mentor now.
Well, no, I'm just saying like what I see. Now, I'm not saying what I'm experiencing, but I'm paying attention to like what's out here for the kids. I'm still like a kid at heart, like you said. And it's like sometimes I'd be like looking at like even like the little cartoons and movies, like everything seems extra adult. But I don't know, maybe like you said, could be perspective have changed, because sometimes like going back in time and watching some old cartoons and some of the stuff they used to say like was very suggestive. So like, how'd they get away with that?
Also, it's like when we was in school, it was stuff that happened in school.
Yeah.
So it'd be like you had a guidance counselor.
Yeah.
And, so it was more in your face because that was their job, is to kind of guide you in school. So you got it. Like I remember guidance counselor, then they would tell your mom about this. Cause I get stuff like that with my daughter. Like the teacher will send you home with a pamphlet. Hey, we're doing these little after school. They even give you like, if you're like, hey, parents, we're looking for people that, like, what would we just say? Mentors. We're looking for mentors, like parents that want to help other children and stuff like that. They don't have dads and stuff. We've gotten it. It's just I stay so far away from my daughter's school. But they give you things like that. So if you're a parent, you probably get a lot of these things in the mail from schools and stuff. So this happening. Is it like the Boys and Girls Club commercials used to come on TV? Yeah. But we don't get commercials. Like I don't even see toy commercials anymore. Like you know what I'm saying? But that's now it's just the times because of streaming. You might get an ad in depending on what you're watching. They're not gonna feed you if you're watching some adult stuff.
I definitely watch kid stuff.
I watch kid stuff too, but I'm just saying most of the time you'll see it more so if you're watching like there's like my daughter somehow found this thing on Roku called Happy Kids. It's not YouTube. It's just some random, and all it is like little kid stuff. Some of it's just YouTube videos of other kids. I don't know. But they got, they're sponsored and stuff like that. They get it through you get little advertisements in there, stuff like that. So I think as being an adult, you don't see it as much because it's not geared towards us. They're probably not nobody, or like depending on, like you said, perspective. If you're not a parent, probably if you had a kid and they, you get the stuff back from the school, they got little pamphlets. I remember the book fairs we used to get and stuff like that. The little pamphlets. We got the fundraisers. We used to sell the candies, boys and girls. The Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts stuff. My daughter gets the Girl Scout stuff all the time, but it's just. We get stuff like that all the time, but perspective wise, it may not for a lot of other people that may not have kids or whatever, or you not being a kid, seeing what the teachers are doing while you're in school, trying to, see where kids need to be put and talking to the parent, stuff like that. It's just perspective possibly. Okay. But I do feel like it is something that I don't remember kids like, I think it's more a safety thing now too. Like parents just don't want their, they used to have the Big Brother program.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Have an adult male come and pick your child up and then take them away for the day. Like, that kind of, it may be a little bit scary for somebody. So,
you're right, but I don't know. I do feel like because of like environmental stuff. When I say environment, I mean like upbringing.
Yeah.
I just feel like people need help and guidance. To be honest, like I still feel like I need help and guidance now. I still, I one thing I don't know. So because of that, I feel like that's why I'm kind of like team self-help and whatever you need. Because some people like, they just need some help.
No, I'm all for that, but I do feel like it's more.
So your thing is more like a personal thing too?
Yeah, because I think that's where it is. It's personal. It's a personal journey that you take. I think everybody should have. I think I always call it like a self-inventory of yourself every year. People always be like, I got a New Year's resolution. And then they post it to everybody in the world, on Facebook or some other social media platform and say, why are you telling everybody your New Year's resolution? You know what I'm saying? I feel like you need to take that stuff, sit down and look through the year. What happened? What could I do better through this year? Who was holding me back more so this year? Maybe remove yourself out of a situation and see how better your situation. Like me and my brothers and nephews, we do like a boys' day thing. We play games on there, but as I said, I'm a sore loser. But I was making the boys' day thing terrible because I'm bad. I'm like getting mad because I'm losing and stuff like that. And everybody's like, oh, he's getting mad because of da. And I'm like trying to make rules and regulations, and they don't want that. They're like, hey, calm down with that. But so, and then I wasn't even having fun because you
just mad.
I'm mad, but I'm not mad. Like I'm not over there cussing and all this stuff. I'm just like, I don't like losing, so I'm not being positive. I'm trash talking. You suck, and you and the only reason why you won was and then also I'm getting older, got high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? It ain't good for me. So all I did was just remove myself. Now I go back up there every so often, talk to them and stuff, and check. But I noticed that was. I used to look forward to it. Then we get up there and it'd be a little bit negative from my side, not their side more so. And I was like, and I even told them, hey man, it's for me. I know what I'm doing. I took accountability.
So you wish to apologize to them now from the podcast?
No, I already did that.
Oh, you did?
I said that when I left. When I left, I said that. I was like, hey man, it's not y'all, it's me. I know that gave my little spill, and I stepped away for a while, because I think
it's big of you.
Yeah. And then, also it's like, I needed more time to spend time with my daughter and things like that, so it was kind of like, for me, I needed to remove myself, and they did good without me. It's not.
Life goes on.
Yeah, life goes on. And then also I did better. I was able to spend that time also just being with my daughter.
And get that blood pressure together.
Yeah, they mean, being a little mad about
pressure.
stuff, that doesn't help the blood pressure, you know what I mean?
I know how you feel.
So, I just, but I do think that separating yourself sometimes, then kind of seeing how, kind of dealing with yourself, helps. I'm not saying just, be who you are, forget everybody, if they don't like you, it's tough. Not saying that. If you causing a toxic environment, you need to remove yourself from there, because I think it's you being involved with people, and probably the people in your circle may be a little bit toxic, or maybe you might be the toxic one in the circle, and so you need to remove yourself from situations like that.
We should have definitely did a podcast episode on this, because it has took over the question part, because I don't want to answer no more questions.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do see what you're coming from or whatever about it. I was gonna have another thought, but said being old. I remember, I think when you mentioned the blood pressure, it got me thinking. That was kind of what made me not want to be a manager no more. Because it's like sometimes it's like we want to make good money. It's like, and you don't have all the PhDs and all this, you gotta work your way up. And I think the blood pressure part for me made me not really, because to be honest, I know it don't sound like it, but I felt like I was a great manager. Like every job I get on, I be managing everybody still, and I'm not a manager. It's crazy. What are y'all doing? Y'all lunch is over. Do you
feel like that makes you a good manager?
Oh no, not just what I just said, but I'm just saying in general. I just felt like I was my thing is, and this is what my biggest thing is really giving people the tools to be successful. And so that's kind of how I was as a manager. I was really really serious with training. I did a lot of personalized trainings. A lot of times when you're a manager, depending on how far up you are, a lot of times you'll usually typically assign a person to someone for training or whatever. But me, I took a lot of, even though I had other things to do and I probably was higher up in management, I took time with people to really, so they know my expectations. And I feel like the more I was able to do that, the more I was able to see people thrive. It's my biggest, happiest moments as a manager, and I say this a lot of times, for interviews, but it'd be true, is actually see people surpass me. It's literally been people who I was under me, and all of a sudden they became my manager. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of and it built that lasting respect and bond forever that I had with those individuals.
So were you more a good manager for the corporate, or were you a good manager for the employees? From employee standpoint, looking at you, or was it the other managers in the corporation looking at you saying, "Oh, you're a good manager. You got." I feel like
both. I feel like to have a successful business, you have to cater to both your employees and the customers. And I feel like as time progresses, especially these huge companies, they kind of forget their employees, and that's why they have a high turnover rate, which is never good. And they start focusing so much on the customers, and so that's why you always have all this horrible customer service and stuff like that from a lot of companies, because people are not happy there. And then when they're being mean to the people that shopping there, then people don't stop shopping there. They want to go somewhere else, I went to several places where they use Chick-fil-A as a model, and with them saying, what's that little phrase they say, whatever they close the phrase was have a good day or my pleasure or something, and that's kind of I've been in several jobs and they always use that as an example, Chick-fil-A, because it doesn't happen anywhere else, but it's something that people remember. I've never worked at Chick-fil-A, but I've been there. Clearly, I've been at Chick-fil-A, and I remember that. They make me feel good by going to them. I did them a service by eating their food. But that's kind of how it is. You are getting your check because people are shopping there sometimes. So that's the energy that you want your employees to have for people, because it's transactional. And so I feel like if you want a successful business, You have to make sure your people that's working with you are good so they can take care of the customers. And so, yeah. So I felt like, because like when I was working in management, how they brought in, like, especially like retail specifically, if I was like a aerial manager, instead of like assistant, whatever, I just say like an area, they called it like a SWAS, which is like a store within a store. And so like the hours, everything was dependent on what you sold in your departments, and it wasn't based on what the store could be doing good, but you know, if y'all not selling good in those departments, then we don't have a lot of hours for this particular team in these departments or whatever. So it kind of gave you the feel that you was running your own store within the store. So it's like we had to do things to bring the people in our area in the store. We had to think about, like, you know, what people in this particular area like, you know, and try to have those things, because certain stores you have the freedom. So if you work in the well, I ain't gonna say, but anyway,
just forget it.
You know, you gotta know your area. I'm just gonna say that. You know, you gotta know what they buy. You have the ability to buy more of whatever the people in that neighborhood like. You know, so I want to be stereotypical. That's what I'm saying. But you know. But yeah, so I do. So I felt like I was a good manager, but for the blood pressure aspect was what caused me to kind of like fall back from management and try to find a job that I was getting paid similar. This kind of like got me in the financial world, whatever. But a job I was getting paid similar, but I'm not responsible for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do kind of miss managing because I feel like it was a good one. Because sometimes I look at these other managers and I'd be like, ill, you know, ill. Yeah. What are they doing? You know, especially some of these managers that be trying to be everybody's friend. And I felt like I had a good balance. There were certain people that I was cool with outside of work, but not everybody. Like some managers want to be cool with everybody.
Yeah.
Me is usually like, I had like one person that I was probably a little cool with, but that's it. But anyway.
I think that, you know.
Do you think you're a good manager? You're a manager now.
I wouldn't say. That
could have been one of my questions from the chat.
No, I'm I think I'm good. I'm a good manager, but I'm more like I lead by example type person. Like I don't really just tell somebody to do stuff. I'll go out there and do it too. So I'll be like, hey, I'll give them something to do. And then I'll, you know, if we got a lot going on, I'm out there doing it too. I don't have to. It would be stuff where we ain't even like, it just be somebody that's just like tired that day. Like, hey man, like, oh, man, I had a rough day. All right. I'll put them on. I'll do this first. I'll do this. And then you do this. I'll give them something lighter to do. Just to kind of put into perspective, like I'm out here, and I'm like, whenever y'all are like, so you know, you got the people that come in and they be like, well, I'm tired today. Like, me too. I'm tired too, but I don't have to do any of this stuff that y'all are doing. Like I can just assign you it and then kind of sit back, you know, because that's what they're telling me to do. Like they really want me to be sitting down at the computer, you know. And I don't really, I do that, but also like, it's like I said, people come in and it'd be like it don't be all the time, but I'd still prefer to be out on the floor, kind of just doing the work with the people I work with. I don't just be like, hey, go over there and do this. And I'm never that type of guy. I prefer to kind of just be hands-on. So there's never a scenario where we're in a space where like you just sit back and do nothing while they're out here doing all this other stuff. And he always get, you know, how like you'll be, I remember being the regular person that would come in and I'm underneath somebody and you'll be talking and it's like, yeah, I can't stand that guy. Blah, blah, blah. And then when you walk up, you like,
oh, hey, boy.
Yeah. You get, and then you become that person and everybody stops dispersing. I ain't want to be that guy that they're like, you know, because I know how it was to be coming in and like getting work and they're like, hey, how come he just sitting and he ain't, And I'm like, and they just be in there laughing and stuff, and you're out there working hard and stuff. You like, so I ain't never want to be that guy. If I could fill in, if they needed some help, or they was like we was falling behind and they needed, some like assistance. Hey, all right, how much you got over there? I'll take some of these. I'll do this. I'll help them for a second. Hey, all right. Leave him there. Let me go check on this person. Hey, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Hey, but they just they need help over here doing. I'll get that. You finish doing this, I'll do that. I'm that type of leader. I don't really just sit back and just like. And then when everything starts falling apart, and then they be like, hey, they come to me, hey, what happened over here? Oh, I don't know. It was his fault. No, I take full responsibility. If it was something I did, it was some mistake my team did, it's on me. But I also be on the floor. But then I'll be like, because we get passed up stuff, like, because there's different shifts. So if we get passed up something from a different shift, and they didn't do their part, then I'm like, well, and I'm like, and they see me out. I'm not just sitting in some people on the other shift might be, they may be in the office all day, or they got workers on their side that they not pulling their weight. And I'll be like, my team did this, like, so, and I'm out there too, so I can vouch for that. And other people see me, other supervisors and stuff, they be like, no, I see, he's always, so it's nothing you can never say. And I'm there every day. I don't miss no days. I'm there like extra early. Like, I'm that type of person. So it's nothing that I'm going to tell you to do that I ain't going to do myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of lead that I am. I don't really tell anybody to do something that I don't do myself. Now, I'm not a people person. I'm not the one, hey, how you doing, Johnny? I'm not doing all that stuff.
No, you're definitely not.
I'll, everybody, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Hey, yo, hey, what's up?
Sorry, like, have you been in situations where people need like life advice? Because when you're a manager, you got to be like a therapist. No. We saw what you feel about therapy.
I don't. I sympathize with it.
Okay.
If someone comes in and they have like, hey man, my daughter, blah blah blah. Yeah. I get it, man. I agree. I understand, but
they're gonna need you to do this work.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like, I tell them from my perspective, I don't never put it on me. Like, this, I don't run this. This ain't mine. If it was mine, it'd be different. But I have to. They're telling me to do this. Now, like I said, I'll still, if something happened, hey man, I'll take some weight off of you. Hey, you can be over here today, or whatever. I'll try to help as much as I can. But there's nothing I can do if the policy say this and that. I can't really change policy. How low on the totem pole I am compared to, I can't make those moves. I can, hey man, if I got your number, hey man, what's going on? Man, I'm stuck in traffic. Hey man, so what you want me, I could try to tell them, hey, everybody's stuck in, like it happened recently. I wasn't in work. I didn't go to work one day, but they was like, hey man, I'm stuck in 2 hours of traffic. Said maybe when you go in, because this person's like, they got a lot of, like, they're almost about to be fired. They said I would go in and be like, hey, explain yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, try to let them know, like, it was 2 hours of traffic. It's nothing I could have did. I tried to make sure I left early enough. Now I want to just sit around and act like that didn't just happen. You want to try to be ahead of it. I'll try to give them advice like that, because your situation, they're not going to be sympathetic. It's a corporation. They don't care about your mom, your sister, your brother, your wife. They don't care about all that stuff. They want you here at this particular time, and there's always someone that can replace you. That's how they look at you. And I let them know that, like, what I'm saying, I'm the same thing. Like, they replace me too. I'm not indispensable. Like, they can take someone else and put them right in my spot. So I can't do nothing. All I can do is give you the guidance. Hey man, look, you're late. You got this many points. I'm just giving you a heads up. You might want to try to leave early. I get your situation. Then I can't help you. I could just give you a phone call, wake up call. Hey man, it's 5:00. But you got to make the effort to get here on work. I can't do anything for you. And that's it. I don't try to be like, hey, and pat people on the back and cry with people. I don't do all that. No. I can give you the realest that I can give you because I'm under the same scrutiny as you are. Like, hey, you know, one of your guys, he's been over there talking. Like, I mean, what do you want me to do? They coming to me. Why you think I know you over here? Like, they told me that you was over. Oh yeah, you right. Yeah, so like, you making me look crazy because now if I don't do something, it's gonna look bad for me. They seen you. So that's how I do. I always kind of speak from that standpoint. I don't ever be trying to, hey, get over there and shut up. And I don't do all that stuff. But I also ain't like, I'm gonna cry with you. Like I said, I ain't gonna, how you doing? Hey, have a great day today, okay? I'm not doing all that. Hey, I want to congratulate Johnny for doing this. I'm not doing that neither.
I can see that.
I'm not doing that.
You know, I would actually love to see you as a manager because like we worked together, but you definitely wasn't a manager.
No.
Then, so it would be nice to see that. This, you know, I know you'd be trying to judge what type of person I would be as a manager, but you know,
no. I mean, I joke around with everybody too, but I'm not like, you know, if we're in the same space, they tell me a story, and if I have something to contribute to it, yeah. But you know, that's how I be. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. All right, well, we can kind of like probably end it here, you know, but in the meantime, thanks for tuning in and, you know, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Deuces.